I'm really enjoying talking to you, Kyle.
I always like talking to you, Allison.
Right? What should we talk about today?
Well, we have good conversations all the time. Maybe today we could just talk about languages.
Okay. Well, let's look at a few languages in a few countries, for example.
All right.
What language do people speak in Japan?
In Japan, of course, people speak Japanese.
Yeah, that was an easy one.
That's an easy one, Allison.
Okay, let's see.
Let me challenge you,
All right.
Allison. What language do people speak in Sweden?
Oh, you thought you'd challenge me?
Sweden.
People in Sweden speak Swedish.
Of course, they speak Swedish.
Yeah. What language do people speak in Switzerland?
Oh, boy. In Switzerland, the people speak several languages.
Yeah.
Some people speak French, some people speak Italian, and some people also speak German. In Zurich.
True. Yeah,
in
that's
Zurich,
true.
the people speak German.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's funny, but they speak 3 languages in really a small country, but they speak 3 languages.
Well, now Canada's a big country. How many languages do people speak there?
In Canada, there are 2 official languages. People speak English and French.
Okay.
And I think it's interesting because there are 10 provinces, and each province has an official language. So the people in the people in 8 of the 10 provinces officially speak English.
Interesting.
In the province of Quebec, the people speak French.
Okay.
And there's one province which is officially bilingual, both English and French, the province of New Brunswick.
Okay.
And there, people speak both languages.
But now what about you? How many languages do you speak?
Well, I speak English.
Of course.
Pretty good, I think.
Yeah, you defend yourself well.
I get by, yeah. And I speak Spanish reasonably well.
Okay.
I would like to speak better Spanish. I'm trying to improve my Spanish to speak a bit better. But more or less, I speak Spanish and French. In the
Okay.
past, I spoke French. In school, I spoke French. I studied math, history, geography, all these subjects in French. So years ago, I spoke good French.
Interesting.
But now, I don't speak it very often. I don't practice it. So I can't speak very good.
Well, you need to make a friend who you can talk to with in French, right?
I suppose. I don't have the opportunity to talk in
French
very often here.
in Colorado. In the United States, obviously the official language is English, and most people speak English. But you also have a large population of people that speak Spanish in the United States.
But do they speak the same Spanish as in Spain, or do they speak different Spanish?
They speak different Spanish because most of the Spanish speakers that live in the United States are from Mexico or from South America. So they speak a different type of Spanish. Yeah, they do. In fact, my father speaks Spanish. My brother speaks Spanish.
Really?
And I speak Spanish.
Wow.
So the 3 of us speak Spanish.
Now, when you talk to your father, do you talk to him in Spanish or in English?
No, I talk to him in English. Sometimes for fun, we say a few words or we talk to each other in Spanish a little bit. But usually we talk to each other in English.
Now, does he speak with a different accent than you?
He does speak Spanish with a Mexican accent because he learned Spanish in Mexico.
Wow. But does he speak well?
He does speak rather well, yeah. Many times when he talks to people in Spain, they are surprised at how well he speaks Spanish.
My brother, it's really funny. I always talk about my brother, but he speaks a lot of languages.
Really? How many languages
My
does
brother
he speak?
speaks English, obviously. My brother speaks French.
Okay.
Much better than me.
Yeah.
And he lived in Russia for a year, so he speaks a bit of Russian.
Wow, so he does speak a lot of languages.
Once I was with him and he was in a shop, and he was talking to this girl in a shop in Russian.
Wow, that must have been interesting.
It was amazing. It was really impressive to hear my brother speaking Russian.
Of course.
Also, he lived in Japan for a while, and he speaks Japanese.
So he speaks. Wow, so he
doesn't speak perfect Japanese.
Sure.
And he doesn't have the opportunity
Yeah.
to speak it very often.
Right.
But he speaks reasonably well in those
Right.
languages. He also understands, I don't think he speaks it very well, but he understands Korean.
Oh, okay.
Korean because he lived in Korea, in South Korea, for a while. Yeah.
Okay. Now, how often do you talk to your brother?
I would like to talk to my brother more often. I talk to him once a week.
Once a week? That's pretty typical, I think.
Yeah.
What about your parents? How often do you talk to your parents?
I talk to my parents about once a week as well. I should talk to them more. I talk to them on the phone.
On the phone.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I talk to them on the phone once a week.
Okay.
I call them.
Yeah.
Or they call me.
Right, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, yeah.
How often do you talk to your parents?
The same. I usually talk to my parents about once a week. I usually talk to them on the weekend, and also I talk to them on the phone. Yeah. But what do you usually talk about when you call home?
I just tell them what I've been doing
Right.
over the last week. I ask them what's happening in my hometown.
Yeah.
We talk
Okay.
about whatever. We talk about our lives,
Yeah.
whatever's happening,
Yeah.
you know, our plans.
Yeah.
What do you talk about with your family?
Well, obviously you talk about your day-to-day life, what's happening in the recent week, right? I talk about work a little bit. I talk about, well, new things that are happening in my life. I always talk to them about my brothers because I don't talk to my brothers as much as I talk to my parents.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't talk to my brothers very often.
No?
Maybe I talk to my brothers once every 2 or even 3 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you should talk to them more often.
I know, I
Allison.
should talk to them more often. I don't call them as often. So when I talk to my parents, I always talk to them about my brothers because I want to hear how my brothers are doing.
Yeah.
So I usually talk to them about my brothers and about what's happening here. And then I talk to them, of course, about what's going on there in Colorado as well. Yeah. Now, you live in Spain, so what about with your roommate? Do you talk to him in Spanish?
You know, unfortunately, my roommate speaks English. My roommate's a native English speaker, so we speak in English when we're talking.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
really, I wish I need to speak more Spanish.
right, right. Well, maybe we can go out and find some Spanish people to talk to.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we just go out and find some people and we'll
Why
go practice
not?
our Spanish?
I like it. Let's
All right?
go.
All right.
Okay.